I'm going to be talking a little bit about energy, wind energy today. My name is Bailey Schoenfelder. I'm a freshman here at the university, and I'm also on the football team. Okay, so wind energy. Wind energy is actually a lot older than you'd expect it to be. If you think about it, sailboats, that's harnessing wind energy for propulsion, and in the past that was the only way to get around. It also can be used in windmills to pump water and grind grain in the past, which is about as far as they got until pretty recently. So wind energy in the present now, we have wind turbines, we have turbine farms, and we're producing a pretty decent amount of energy with it, but not enough to be super impactful in our total overall use and to really reduce our use of dirty energy. Some facts for you. In 2011, we had 239 gigawatts of total worldwide installed electricity production, wind energy, and that jumped up from 2001 when we had 24 gigawatts. So there's a pretty big jump in 10 years there. And in the United States, Texas was the main wind producer in 2013. They produced 36 million kilowatt hours of electricity in 1 year. And so I looked it up, and in 2015, the average yearly electricity consumption for a residential consumer was about 10,812 kilowatt hours. So if we do that math real quick, Texas produced 36 million kilowatt hours of energy in 1 year with just wind production. So, and our average home uses about 10,812 kilowatt hours a year, and if we divide that out, the math comes out to 3,329. So well over 3,300 homes that Texas could have powered with wind energy alone for a whole year. So that's pretty impressive, and if you think about it in comparison to like the total population and all the homes in the United States, it really doesn't seem that significant, but it's a pretty big jump harnessing something that's completely natural and has nothing really bad about it. Okay, so the future of wind energy. Where is wind energy going? There are a few issues with wind energy and harnessing it that really need to be addressed before it can become something more significant. Wind energy is extremely expensive to gather because wind turbines are extremely expensive to create and place, and it takes a lot of them. And wind, as you might know, is intermittent. It's not consistent. You can't rely on it to be your main source of energy because it might be extremely windy one day and not windy at all for the next month. You just never know how it's going to work. So those are two main issues that it's going to have to work through before it becomes something more significant. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about my project here. I built a wind turbine with, it has a small motor in here, and then I have it hooked up to a multimeter here that's measuring it in millivolts. And you use a small fan to get it going and check our millivolt output on high and low setting. So we'll start with high. And we just need to get it spinning here. And once we get it spinning, okay, so we're producing about 110 millivolts on the high setting. Now I'll drop it down low. We're producing about 50. Okay, so if we think about that, so we got, oh, I gotta just okay. So we've got 110 millivolts on the high setting, and then we've got about 60 millivolts on the low setting. Okay, so if you think about this in terms of like something that you might know, a 120 volt light bulb takes 120 volts to light. Okay, so a millivolt is 10 to the negative 3 volts. So let's go with the high setting and do a little math there and figure it out. So 110 millivolts is 0.110 volts. So if we divide that out, so we've got 120 volts needed to light the light bulb, and then we've got 0.110. Okay. So if we divide that out, grab a calculator. The math comes out to 120 divided by 0.110. So the math comes out to 1,090. So I need about 1,090 of these small turbines and the fans hooked up to a 120 volt light bulb to actually turn it on, which is pretty insignificant, but on a small scale it gives you kind of an idea of how that's related to something that you might know in your home and how significant the actual turbines need to be to power something like a home or an entire business. It gives you sort of a scale to really relate that. And I think that's about all. So thank you guys for watching.